This conference will now be recorded.
It's 2
Making that
o'clock.
drive from Campbell June, right?
Yo, guys.
All the way to-
Hey,
And they had to go to Cleveland
it's,
first.
shut up, Darn.
Make sure your buttons are out. It's not 2 o'clock yet.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to call this meeting to order.
Let's make sure we understand that he don't count. He only gets to talk when
When he raises it.
Virginia says he can talk. Well, he's talking.
I'd like
He's gonna count.
to call the meeting to order and call the roll. We have Chris Capiello is here, Warren Davies is here, Gary Lippold, Tom Murphy is not here, David Nickerson's here, Tom Roller's here, and I'm here.
Let me go check on Kenny. Kenny would like to have a few minutes.
Okay. Before we do the
Is
election.
Tom calling in?
Huh?
Is Tom calling in?
No.
Oh.
I do have one more thing too. This is the first meeting for 3 of the members here. Does Tony have it? Does Tony have any intention of calling?
I've talked to him.
Okay,
Probably get him, we're probably gonna get him next. I'll talk to him again next one. Probably get him for the next meeting.
okay.
You can say do your elections. Let me
Okay.
grab him.
First object on the is election of officers. We need a chairman and a vice chairman. I nominate Warren Davies as chairman.
I will second that.
Anybody else? Yes?
I'll nominate Chris
Chris?
Capello for chairman.
Okay. Any other nominations?
Do we have to second?
Do I have to
Second? Do we need second?
We need a second.
Can I second my own?
Second.
I mean, I'll second it, but do we really need it?
I don't know what the procedure is.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to do this by ballot or do we just want to show of hands?
Doesn't matter to me.
Don't matter.
Who's in favor of Warren Davies as being the chairman of this committee? Okay. I guess Warren has it.
Yep.
And Chris,
That's
you'll
fine.
be vice chairman then.
I'm fine with that.
You want to
Oh, no.
record the vote for the. Yeah,
Four in favor of Warren.
I think you should also put names down.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Warren was Tom Roller, Dave Nickerson, and myself.
And what?
And you voted for
Yes,
yourself?
I voted for
Warren
myself.
Warren voted for himself.
That means I'll nominate Chris for vice chairman.
Second that.
All in favor of Chris as the vice chairman?
Did better than Warren. I got a unanimous vote. That's all right.
Vice chairman is Chris, and that was a unanimous vote. Is Kenny coming?
I just texted, I just messaged him. He should be here.
Okay. Well, we'll let Warren.
What
Okay.
about, secretary?
Huh?
Secretary
Oh, do we need a secretary?
to review the minutes. I send them out to someone.
Oh, we've never had one before.
Yeah, Angela.
Angela filled my
Angela.
spot.
She
for a
was
while.
not. We never had an effective one before.
Yeah, that was always the problem. Don't they type them up at, the other?
Infomark,
at the
Infomark does them up and Angela used to
Oh, here
review
comes
them.
Kenny.
And then,
Why don't you just review it?
Yeah, I can review it. That'd be fine.
okay,
And if I have a question, I can get with,
so
Chris.
you're not gonna have an official secretary.
Yeah.
They'll just send them to you. Okay. All right.
All right. Kenny? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Kenny Hall, Utility Director. I just wanted to touch base with you all on the fencing situation. We just actually got comments back from the county. The permit was rejected, and it was rejected because of the slatting, the black slats that go across there. It's apparently a new rule. So the slatting apparently is going to be out. So that's
just be fencing.
straight black fencing. We responded with, then how does Station 11 and 12 have black slatting? They went through 2.5, almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we haven't got a response back, but the permit was rejected. And that was the reason. black slatting across the.
That comes from the county DOT?
Well, that comes from our contractor who applies for the permit.
What's the reason for no slatting?
I have no idea. I've never heard of that.
So it's not the black that's the issue?
No,
it's the slatting.
it's the
that's
slatting that goes in the chain link
Regardless of
fence. It's a new rule, apparently. We're of the opinion that we'll go ahead with the fence as is, with no slatting. Give us the slatting, we'll put the slatting in and get it. But we're waiting for clarification on that. It just came through today. So that's where we're at with the fencing. So.
Okay.
Must have been a slow week, huh?
It's
Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks, just to get them to look at the permit, and now they've rejected it, so whether it takes 6 or 8 weeks to get it back through there, we don't know, but we're going back and forth with the contractor right now, so just to give you an update on what's going on with that. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ken.
On Station 14,
Yes.
on each side of the driveway pavement you put in there,
Mhm.
it's washing out. Can you toss some sod in there or something?
Sure.
to
Yes.
Shore that up?
We'll get after that.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, Ken. Moving down, the approval of the minutes from the April 6th meeting. And that was a full meeting. Anybody have a chance to read it? Have any questions or comments? If not, a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
That one or both?
Virginia and Stacy moved to approve the minutes. Chris, second the motion. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
The second set is from the April 26th meeting. It was a special meeting that we conducted to interview candidates for the position. Any comments or questions or a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Virginia moves to approve. Tom seconds. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, Lake 58 restoration. I know, I think Chris put something out in on the website on it. I was at the meeting that they brought it up, the engineering brought it up. The problem was it's too big. They can't pump water out of it like they can some of the smaller ones they've done before. So they're going to do a couple small lakes and then come back to our lake, hopefully when it goes down. You know, one of the questions, yeah, whenever. Well, one of the questions that come up again on the internet thing was, well, why didn't they start sooner? And it seems to always be the same problem every year. They just have a hard time. This time they said at the meeting, at the board of supervisors meeting, that was because of permitting. Permitting is just hard trying to get it going and get it in a timely thing. So they're not sure when they're going to get Lake 58. It might not be till the end of the year.
Now, will they have to go through the permitting again then?
I would hope not. I don't know if I don't even know if they have the permitting yet for 58. I haven't heard yet. I'll probably find that out when we talk to.
You know what the next lake will be? It's gonna be 62, but.
Well, that'd be the next one for ours, but there's two other ones outside Stoneybrook that they're already on the list. Yeah. So yeah, that was the last I heard on that, on the lake restoration. Okay. Landscaping work group update.
Kathy's not here. She coming?
Angela. Hi, Angela. Kathy's not here. I don't know, there was a report I had listing all the different things involved that we were going to do. And last time we voted to approve 6 or 5 areas, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7, the fix of the invoices that she had. And my question would be, how have we come along with that? And we'll have to get with somebody else. Kathy's not here, and the other gentleman that works on that from here isn't here either. The one question I have, and I spoke to Kennedy, Jim Kennedy, I couldn't think of his first name, Jim Kennedy, who's in charge. At the last, I believe it was the last Board of Supervisors meeting, Margaret spoke about some different things, and the one thing she brought up was the intersection of Pebblestone at Pebblebrook. And there's no site, the same as we had at Greenstone, except this is just about as bad. When you pull up at the stop sign from Pebblestone onto Pebblebrook, you can't see. I took a picture. This is from the stop sign. And then this is pulling all the way up to the second line of the crosswalk. It's where it takes before you can get a good visibility going down the road. Now, we need to get that fixed because it is, a danger part. And I don't go up and down that roadway and stuff, but I did try it out, and it is bad. I would not want to do it. We had the same problem at Greenstone, and they took all the big bushes out, they put grass in. It looks really nice. I think they did. It looks nice. And for this, they would have to, I don't know if you can see it on the trees, but there's some bushes right there, high bushes, and some trees. You'd have to take those high bushes out, even with those trees, and then put sod in, which I think would make it look nice. The other side of the street is not a problem. So I think I'm going to get with Jim. Well, I already talked to him, and we're waiting, probably talk to Kathy to see what the city, if that proposal they have here for $1,200 is included. It doesn't sound like it does, but I think it's one of those things that we need to take a look at when it comes down. So,
Warren, can I add? I think
Yeah.
it's one of the items that further down on the list. Remember, there's one approved by 4 of like 8 or 9.
well, we only approved. I got them numbered here: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. We approved 5. Yeah, it was 5 different ones, and that was one of them at Pebblestone. The other one was at Pebblebrook and Muddy Creek. I think they were working on that today, weren't they? There was someone, was that where it was at? I knew they were taking some plants and stuff out down there. They were working there. And the other, number 3, was removing some plants and stuff at Crooked Creek and some things at Rock Ridge. And number 7 was removal of dead declining trees on Pebblebrook at Jewelstone and Crooked Creek. So those were the ones that we approved, and it was like $4,200 to get those done. So that was the ones that we had. So we'll have to get with Kathy. I don't know when Kathy's coming back. Have you heard anything?
She's in the community. I saw her.
Oh, really?
Yesterday.
Oh, I thought you'd have been here today. Okay, well, I'll have to get with her and Jim and see if that isn't it, then have them get a proposal together to cut that out. And if you go down by there, just take a look at it and you'll see there's some trees right there that are in those bushes. And if they cut those bushes off or take those big high bushes out, even with those trees, that's pretty much what you would get on that second picture that I sent around on the thing. So, and it is definitely a site problem down through that way. So. Landscaping work group, Pebblebrook sidewalk update. They got it done.
Yesterday, they filled in the dirt.
Okay.
Did the rest of it, took the cones out of there, so now we're not gonna have any broken ankles.
Okay. Do we get a cost on that yet?
They only finished it about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So
Oh, well, I thought they would have had some other in there because they worked, what, 4 or 5 people all day long work on that. And they got soaked.
Yeah.
They got soaked, so, okay. I think we need to take a look at that because, sometimes it's convenient to have Gateway do that, but then the cost, it could be a cost factor involved too. And then the other aspect comes down is we have to take those guys when time's available. There's no emergency kind of sidewalk thing unless it breaks. And the emergency comes for those guys that were working out there if a sewer pipe breaks. Then it's emergency time. So,
and I read something in the past 24 hours that somebody went around from this, I think they hired a concrete contractor or something. They went around and marked a few spots.
I saw some markers, yeah.
I sent an email this morning to customer care. My response was that the major propeller was fixed. but they did not put those orange stripes. They've been there for at least 3 or 4 days. I don't know who put them there.
I don't, yeah,
Maybe the service is not-
I saw the one on Pebblebrook.
I've seen
That's
it
what I saw
before.
today.
They're all the way down Pembroke, and they're just where it's raised. I thought maybe a sidewalk company came out there and just gave someone advice of like, here's your next ones to consider.
Yeah,
Because
Shapiro.
they're marked. It wasn't me.
I think, I've heard Tony, the attorney, say he would rather you not do that because that draws attention to those things. And then that causes us more problems down the road. So, but again, I don't know who did it.
We need to find out who did it,
I-
because
yeah.
that's what we were told not to mark them.
Yeah,
They're not cleaning it, so you need to find out. who did it.
well, we're gonna talk about that a little bit, I hope. Okay, so I think they did a pretty good job after they got all cleaned up and stuff, you know, especially for putting that down and putting the cover over it and holding it up there for a while it was raining, the way as hard as it was raining and stuff there, so. Okay, power washing the Pebblebrook and the gutters, the sidewalk on Pebblebrook, et cetera. Sent out several RFPs to some companies, got response back from 2. I think you may have had a copy of it.
There's a big difference in the prices.
There was. I talked to community because he'd never had an RFP before. I wanted to make sure that we got covered what we wanted to get covered. And he said, well, his price was to be going up this year. And it went up about, I want to say about $2,000. It was really a big chunk. He went to $4,400.
This is Harry.
Eric, yeah. So I reached out to another company. I sent them an email, Ultra Power Washing. They have done work here in Gateway. They've done things in the soccer field and stuff. Magnolia Lakes, they did the sidewalks and gutters in Magnolia Lakes. I talked to Mrs. Walsh, Board of Supervisors, and she said they did a great job. She said they went kind of beyond what, you know, they were out doing the stuff. They saw some things that needed to be cleaned and they approached them real quick, said, hey, we can do this. And he was really cordial. I met him, I talked to him. He's walked the sidewalks and stuff. And his bid was $2,740. The difference between the way they do it, community hooks up, they use a 5/8 inch line and they hook it up to each of the fire hydrants and run it down. Ultra gets a 2-inch line and they use a 500-gallon tank that they put the stuff in and mix it. And then that's how they do it. They still get the water from the same place, still comes from the fire hydrant. The 2-inch line, Kenny has to hook it up because it's more expensive and they want to make sure it's hooked up right. And he wasn't sure which one he was going to use, maybe the one down by the clubhouse. As you drive in, there's a fire hydrant right there. You might use that one if you get. And talking and seeing stuff, both these companies are already registered with Gateway Services. There's not much else to do other than if we approve one, to just move it on to the business manager or the manager and get things moving on that. And I would propose that we go with the Ultra for the $2,740. And you saw what they were going to do as far as the RFP. The sidewalks, the gutters, that section that goes from Pebblebrook over to Bluestone, and the gutters there. And he's going to do the gutters all the way out to the gatehouse. So, and for that price. It's him and his son. He's a really nice guy and stuff. And then and as I say, Mrs. Walsh from Board of Supervisors gave high marks on what they did. So if no one has any questions, I should say.
I say try them this time.
Yeah.
See how they do.
Okay.
For
Gary Whipple,
$2,000.
I'll make a motion that we accept Ultra's contract.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Ladies first, you can have it.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
He says on his, he needs to arrange for a hydrant meter to be installed. Do we charge them for the water?
No, they, if you look on Harry's, he said that he furnishes the water. that sparked my head, so I called, what's his name, Jim, I think his name is, and said, hey, do you furnish the water on your, it said, yeah. The meter is, they come in here to get it. They check out a meter from Gateway Services. The 5/8 meter, they just give it to him and he goes out and he can move it up and down. The 2-inch meter, they have to go out and install it. That's why he keeps it on
What's the
one.
meter for?
The water. Yeah, they measure the water and they pay for the water through Gateway Services. We don't pay for the water. It's all part of the contract.
It's part of this 2,700.
Yes. I double checked
I
that.
didn't,
I'm sorry.
I thought Gateway was just providing the water in the
No,
past.
no.
They always charge.
Yeah. No, they don't provide water to nobody.
I should have known
But
that.
and,
Good question.
and when I saw that on one from, Community, it got me concerned because I didn't put that in the RFP, furnished water. To me, it was just a kind of an automatic thing. And then when I called it, the guy said, oh, no, we furnish the water and stuff and the chemicals and stuff. So, and he uses a bleach solution like everybody else
I'm
does.
just curious, because you
Yeah,
gotta be careful.
yeah,
because
he's-
There's this issue of putting too much bleach into the lake.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, he's familiar with Gateway processes and stuff, and he's already, actually, what makes it nice for both of them, they both got insurance papers already filed. And that's one thing you have to get when you get a new contract, to make sure they have the insurance papers in them. So, okay, we have
Do you know when they can do this then?
as soon as we tell him, he'll give us a date. I don't think we're that far, and they do it on Friday and Saturday, he said, and they did all of them at Magnolia Lakes in one day. So it's just 2 guys, him and his son, that come out and work it. So I was really kind of pleased in talking to him and meeting him out here, and he went up and down and showed concern for the stains we have and what he can do on the stains and stuff on the thing. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'll make arrangements with Laura to get a PO written on that.
I have never seen the RFP on this. Is it possible?
Don't you, I thought it was in the packet. So I
Well-
sent a copy to her.
I'm not, if it was, I missed it. I'd like to see RFPs in the future.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I've got an RFP for about everything.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah,
The RFP on this sidewalk washing was always a problem because every year we say, do the gutters, do this, do that.
Yeah,
And everybody agreed, then the wording never got into the RFP.
and what we've specified in the RFP is how far around the corners he's gonna go
Yeah.
and stuff, so we've tried to cover all the bases that I've heard us talk about in here before, and doing that section from Pebble Brook over to Bluestone, where there's no houses. So I think that was a consideration last year, so, okay. Okay. Maintenance agreement for the gatehouse air conditioner. Last February, we purchased a new air conditioner for the gatehouse, and that comes under the 04 fund. The first year from February to February, part of the contract was that they would have a maintenance agreement with it and they do 2 cleanings or 2 check-ins. Spectrum put it in. When I got working on the budget, I called Spectrum to see if we had a new contract with them for maintenance. And he said, no, he sent one out and he couldn't remember if he sent the HOA or if he sent it to Gateway, but he hadn't heard anything back, and that was back in February. So I had them send me their other proposal, and you should have a copy of that. The cost, the $275 is about what they cost individuals, everybody.
Yeah.
If you go to your house, that's what they charge it. And that's for 2 checks every year. They only do 1 year for commercial stuff. They don't do a couple. I try to get a couple year kind of thing. The second cost, the $250, is for changing the filters 4 times a year. And I have got this is what the screen is there. About the amount of dust and stuff that gets up into it, and getting the filters changed would be relatively important. Plus, again, proper maintenance all the way around adds with the warranty on the
On the units.
on the unit itself. So I know probably most of you have some kind of stuff, and Spectrum does most of them, I think, in here.
The extra 250 charge, that's strictly for coming out to change the filter?
They'll change, well, the way I understand it, they'll come out when they do the maintenance on it. They'll do
Two,
those are 2 times. The other 2 times, they'll come out specially just to put the filters in.
and that's 250. But we have a new maintenance guy now. We could probably buy the filters and he can change 2 filters.
Well, that's true.
want to say
Yeah,
250.
but my problem is I have a problem with some maintenance stuff because some of the stuff just don't get done. I mean, when I walk through the gatehouse, there's some stuff in there that OSHA would probably have a problem with. So I have a concern, if we want to do that, that's fine. I don't have a problem doing that.
Does it affect our warranty though?
That's my question. The warranty.
The warranty,
I don't know. You
That
have to,
would be
you have to do proper maintenance on it to make sure if they find there is no proper maintenance on it.
Well,
And-
correct. That's why I was asking, if they're gonna do if they're just gonna come, put in a new filter and leave, we could have our guy do that and save 250. It probably costs
Well,
50 bucks.
the 250 is for all the filters, the 4 times. There's 4 times that they changed the filters.
Oh, I thought it was 275 the first time and then 250
No,
The
the 275 is just strictly the maintenance check.
Okay, so that's really only 125.
The 250 is the amount for the filters that they come out and they put in. They do 2 when they come out and do the maintenance, and they do the other 2 at the special time.
4 times.
Is there anything special about the filters?
Filters, I buy my filters from them, and that's probably what they would use. They usually build their own filters that go in there.
I have an odd size filter in my house and they always replace it
This
for
one
me.
looks like
Yeah.
about 16
It's
months.
part of my maintenance agreement.
Something of that, I buy my filter pads from them and I change them out myself.
So this is sucking outside air.
Hmm?
This is on the outside of the building.
No, that's on the inside of the building.
That's inside the gatehouse?
Yes. In the ceiling above,
Oh, okay, it's
yeah,
this way.
yeah.
But still, I think it'd only be a 5-minute.
Well,
However you want to handle it, if it's going to affect the warranty, then of course we don't touch it.
I say we go with it for 1 year because it comes back every year. And see how that goes. We have the money right now in that account. And I think it's good to, at least try it for 1 year and see. I'm not sure what the total warranty is on the air conditioner.
I'd rather rely on Spectrum than a Castle employee to
Me too.
keep it up to date.
I'm sorry?
I'd rather rely on Spectrum than a Castle employee
Yeah,
to keep.
okay, I agree.
Keep up the air conditioning system.
Okay. So is this the way we want to go then? Want to go with both of them then for the first year? And then see how that goes, and then maybe next year eliminate that aspect, because it comes separately.
I'll make a motion to approve this Spectrum contract at 525.
Okay.
Service.
Second?
Second? Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Spectrum is very good and I think
Yeah.
they'll pick up anything else that might be a problem.
I keep trying to get them to come on Stone Valley Loop and go down that way and on one day and check everybody's because they're out there all. He said, oh, no, that's fine. That's how we get our business because everybody sees them out there also all these different times. So, okay. Gatehouse lighter replacement. Where's my? Okay.
This has been in the works probably since, I'm gonna say November, December. And with Carmen being Carmen, things just fell through the cracks. We had issues trying to get quotes because nobody wanted to come out for one door. So finally, the guy that's here now, John, I said, look, don't let this fall because we're still seeing in the nightly reports that the guards mention every couple of days, this handle's gonna come right off the door. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's been since December. Yeah. So there's 3 quotes in there.
Yeah.
And I've used Professional Window and Door Consultants. He replaced 3 sliders in the front door of my house. So I know he does good work.
Which one?
Professional Window and Door
Oh, okay.
Consultants.
The third
It
one,
happens to be the highest quote. I think it's 50.
no, 54.
Oh, it's
90.
49. I thought, okay,
Glass
Yeah.
services.
I misread it. But
Proposed.
in any case, whoever you want to go with, I don't have an issue with. They're all pretty much quoting the same product, except for the one company gave us 2 prices. One was on like, must be a lower quality door because one is 3,000 and then one is
Yeah.
5,000. So there's something there. But my personal opinion would be if we just have 3 vendors and they're all in the ballpark with price, I would lean towards the one that I know has done work in my house and I know he does good work. But if we got to go with the lowest price and he's not the lowest price, then we don't go with him. It's just,
Now, I had a few questions that had come up. How did they break the handle, or who broke the handle? Do you
it's
know?
not broken off yet. I
Well, but,
think it's just because
Stress.
it's 15 years old
okay,
and they open it and close it all the time. Probably never had the wheels, we
No.
never had that wheel genie or whoever come in and
Yeah.
make it like a new door.
okay.
And my first thought was maybe we can just switch them.
Yeah.
Because all the Florida doors have handles on both sides. Well, not the gatehouse. I guess Lennar went the cheap route.
Well, that handle stuff is just really tore up right now.
Yeah.
And my concern was if this was done by one of the guards getting ticked off, because you could see, as I looked at it and pulled on it, I could see how someone could get ticked off, and I can't imagine getting upset with one of our residents, just slamming that door shut and busting it up, that could come on to them. But again, if we can't show that happened, then,
Yeah, I don't
pay
have-
$5,000 because someone got upset.
I don't have any kind of evidence or even a suggestion in that regard.
How old
I just
again?
think,
How old again?
It's original.
It's originally,
Original being
it could be a long time,
2005.
17 years.
17 at least,
and
yeah.
what's the useful life of a door?
Yeah, that's the other.
Well, and it's used constantly.
Yeah, they're open it all
Well
the time,
beyond
yeah.
that.
Now they're just gonna replace the slide door.
They're putting a whole new frame, the whole everything.
Both glasses?
Yep, 2 new panels, the frame. It's gonna
Yeah.
be,
The whole door jam.
yep, they're gonna be impact.
Who made the decision to go to impact? Because it was just tempered glass.
Well, that's
before.
what I asked for. I said, we're in Florida. It
Okay,
probably
well, yeah,
should be- it should be impact.
it's had tempered glass for 15 years.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it's tempered and impact.
Huh?
The impact has to do with the penetration.
Right,
The tempered has to do with whether or not it's gonna shatter.
Yeah,
splinter
just gonna,
and stuff.
okay. 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 Any questions or more comments on it, or a motion?
I move that we accept professional windows for the sliders in the guardhouse.
Or a second?
I'll second.
There's a $2,000 difference between,
Yeah, there's some.
almost, between that one and Guardian.
Well, Guardian has 2 different proposals.
Yeah.
Oh,
One
okay.
is 3,100,
Right.
which
That
is
was
probably a
pretty-
lower quality window. And then the comparable one is
Yeah.
49.93.
Okay.
They're in line with the other 2 guys.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got it.
What kind of warranty comes with the one from Professional? There's no warranty listed on any of these, that, how long they're warranted for. I don't think any of them have warranty on them.
None of them have listed a warranty.
Yeah.
I can follow up and get that information. So we'll have it.
On the professional, is it like a low E glass to help the air conditioning? Any idea?
Yeah.
It should.
I would
Right here.
think so.
It's on the back.
It should have a big impact.
Laminated, insulated, low E. Absolutely.
If it's tighter and keep the air in there longer, assuming that the door will stay shut for a period of time.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay, well, we'd have to get I'm sure we'd have to get the insurance and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
for
he'd have to
Gateway.
do all his.
Oh, did you?
No, I said he will have to do.
Oh,
his
yeah,
paperwork.
okay, and we can get something on the
Let's get a
warranty on it. It might be just a company warranty and stuff, but you know, are they warranting their work and stuff, on installing it? You know, what's that's the warranty I'd be more concerned about.
Yeah, the installation.
If the
warranty.
door falls off after 2 months, you know. So, okay.
Should I have him contact Georgia? Paperwork?
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
And I'll talk to Georgia before I leave and make sure she is. And that would come under the guardhouse, and there's funds in the guardhouse fund there. Okay, I'm sorry, we have a motion. We have a motion made, and any more comments?
Is that contingent on the warranty information or what?
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Just have to
probably would
modify
be,
your
yeah.
motion in your second.
Yeah.
We didn't modify the motion then.
Okay, we need to modify the motion then, just to,
Need a second to the modify.
okay. Any other comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
So I'll contact the guy, Mike, and have him contact Georgia to get a whole paperwork. in.
I'll get with Georgia before we leave, so she's expecting that. Okay. Got too much paper stuff. Yeah, thanks. Next thing on we have a good agenda here today, is I want to say the speed bump.
Yeah, I kept shooting Georgia different things because I'm like, oh.
Okay, speed bump quotes. And that's another thing,
Seal coating, is that the speed?
the question comes, two of them are definitely saying speed bump, and one is saying a speed hump. And the only difference between the two is that the speed hump is wider on the thing.
Nobody stops at what we have now.
That's gonna be one of my
Well,
questions.
it slows down the visitors.
Yeah,
Not
So
really.
that if you both come up at the same time and you're a resident, you can get out first.
No, not
Right.
necessarily.
Somebody suggested to us, we spoke about it the other day, somebody suggested to me and Lou, why don't we get those things that hop up out of the ground and slice the tires?
I have a friend that could set us up with some of those. Yeah, no question. So, the difference in these three actually comes down to installation. The one for 1,100 looks like all they can do is dust it off and put a new one on top with the screws. That is the DG Pavement Solutions. Southwest Seal Coating, they're going to clean it up and put some seal coat over the top, over the area. And then the last group, Atlantic Southern, they want to cut it out. As I went through, I see it cut down in there anyway. They want to cut out part of it up to, I think it says here, 30 square feet of new asphalt, and then install it. And before they'll put a seal coat, which is adhesion, to help the adhesion for the speed bump. And they offered speed bump or hump, either one. The one that's just going to do the sealer is 2,500. The one from Atlantic Southern is 2,200. And the lowest one there is 1,100. I don't know DG Pavement Solutions. Southwest Florida Seal Coatings has a good reputation. I got to know some of them folks when I was doing the path. Atlantic Southern, they did our pathway. They've also done the road out here. coming in from Griffin.
That was a nice job.
Yeah, they did a nice job. They did the parking lot. They did a great job. Talked to Cal. Yeah, Cal was, Cal's last name. There you go, see? Yeah, he was here as a management person after Chris Shoemaker left, and he oversaw that project, and he was really impressed with what they did, how to do it and stuff, you know, so they were really good, and I, you know, again, they're registered already here, and they got a good reputation within Gateway, with the office here. And they have all their insurance stuff filed, and seal coating, and again, as I looked, and Chris, maybe you've been out there, looked a little closer, it looked like there was a cut into the macadam where that.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so I think,
A half inch.
yeah, I think that's what they were referring to. There's already a cut there, but and putting more macadam, and I would assume that's where they put
Well,
the
the one
screws.
that's there now is plastic
Yeah,
or rubber or whatever it is.
yeah,
And I guess they set it a half inch down, so it's not gonna move back and forth this
yeah,
way.
okay, yeah.
Now, I think both of these quotes we have here are for blacktop, right?
Well, the one is for to cut it out and put new asphalt in, and then they have an adhesion stuff that they put down,
So they're not building the speed bumps out of the asphalt? I
not,
was under the impression when I read it that they weren't using another man-made piece. It was gonna be like.
I can take that.
Because I thought
I can't tell what seal coating is doing.
Let's see what,
I don't see.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at Atlantic Southern on page 3,
Yeah.
under striping, it says painting of one speed bump,
Mhm.
solid yellow using, so that means
Yeah, they're
They're
going to
making it out of-
build it.
out of.
Yeah, they're gonna build, that's probably where it comes up with the 30 square feet.
I mean, maybe that'll last longer than the.
Oh, I would
plastic,
think so, yeah, if they
Because-
painted there, that would last a lot longer.
Because the
And-
picture that they provided,
Yeah.
that's not as of today. There's another hunk of it that came off.
Yeah, I saw that. And they got, and they have a 1-year warranty on it.
And we don't have to worry about the plows ripping it out in the winter time, so.
Yeah. And don't have to worry about the snow.
That's the big thing up north,
Yeah, the snowplow takes them up in a hurry.
They actually had a pretty impressive
Yeah, they do.
presentation
Yeah.
here. I
Yeah.
mean, they covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, they do. And they did a really good job on our pathway. And our pathway's getting a little rough now because we can't kill all the trees. The old roots go underneath them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they do have a 1-year warranty on their workmanship, and I had it highlighted. And I can't find my highlight. I think that's, you know, the others, a lot of people just don't, all they do is tell you how long the quote's good for.
Yeah, I didn't see with D&G.
Yeah, I don't see D&G was with 2 lines. This is what we're gonna do and put something down, so.
They're also $265 cheaper than seal coat.
I'm sorry?
They're also $265.
Yeah, they're also cheaper. And as I say, they've done a lot of good work within Gateway and kind of surpasses, you know, some of the stuff. And we've used them. And I think they're, you know, a good reference for us also.
What did the RFP specify?
They don't have one.
No, I didn't, I just had the property manager, I said, look, there's some
Yeah.
quotes on replacing the speed bump.
I think
Okay.
the one thing, when we have stuff here, I think we're gonna have to get some kind of RFP, because I think they're gonna start, they actually would like to see one to see what's going on. So if we have projects, we should try to put something together.
I mean, seal coat and
Yeah.
Atlantic Southern look like they're using a similar process. This guy, I mean, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with those speed bumps, but he's just putting down a
Looks like
Another
he just
strip.
a
replaced it like for
manufactured
like.
speed. Well, it's
Yeah.
a fully functional speed bump, but it's manufactured. And our RFP, I guess, didn't specify what kind of
No.
speed bump to use. Is one any more effective than the other?
The speed bump would probably last longer. With the mechanic, the one they built would probably last longer. But I don't know how long that one's been in.
I don't know.
I don't know.
About 2010, 2011.
Okay.
Which would be better, a bump or a hump? 'Cause
I don't, me,
I think a bump's more intimidating.
I do too.
yeah, the speed bump would cause more of a boom, boom than the other one does kind
They
of.
would slow down if you,
Yeah.
the humps that I've seen, it's a gradual rise
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
gradual fall, and
Right.
it's kind of like,
Yeah.
it doesn't go up.
If you're on a road somewhere above a certain speed, that's
Yeah.
where a hump is effective, because you're gonna get
Yeah.
away from
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
But, if you're with this purpose, I think the bump is fine.
yeah. Bump would be the thing.
That means, so that means DG would be the preferred one then.
Can I ask a question? On somewhere down the line, I heard that we had to put something that was temporary, like what we have in there now, that we weren't allowed to do the asphalt. I don't know where I heard that, but that would be something that Gateway Services would have to acknowledge since they own that portion of the road.
Well, we'd get that approved by them, if that was necessary. We'd probably just have to talk with, either Jim or Kenny.
So
Or
you
actually start with
Probably
Laurel.
can.
So
Yeah.
we go through their recommendation because they own the road, on which they prefer.
Good point.
Well, they would probably go with what we want to do, since it's come out of our funds, as long as it's legal. And I believe all those, I've seen both of them around the county, both the plastic or whatever, and then also the regular ones they build, so.
I would ask for the biggest hump you can.
Yeah. So when they hit that, they'll know that they hit something. Okay, any more questions or comments or motion?
I'll make a motion to go with Atlantic Southern. We've used them before, we're happy with them. That, and the other, I mean, I think the blacktop, the asphalt is gonna be a longer lasting solution.
Yeah. And for 1 year, they'll come out and fix it up if they have to for a year. They have your warranty of workmanship and stuff on it too. So that's a big thing. I mean,
I'll second the motion.
second,
No plans to change the configuration of the entrance, is there?
no, just take the hump that's in there now and put a new one on there.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if down the road, they're looking at
Now,
moving things, changing things.
I will say this, the way it is right now was not the way it was originally. We configured that in that way after trying a couple of different things, because literally what Virginia is describing, it used to be, you came up to that sign, it was playing chicken.
Yeah.
Like right out of the movie.
yeah,
You were
Yeah.
playing chicken with the people coming in, because they would just blow right through once that thing came up.
Right.
They still pretty much do a lot of
Yeah.
it.
yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's much better.
So we think we're gonna stick with this configuration
I think
for a
the
while.
configuration is probably the one, if you watch it, just make sure your box is a little bit big.
Yeah, well, it still comes down, most people, visitors coming in, when the guard puts the gate up,
They go.
that, to them, that's free flow to go right straight through that.
That's why we put the stop signs in.
Yeah.
We don't stop.
But that's, they just, and you get people, I know, I close my eyes when my wife is driving, because by God, she's a resident and she's gonna get out in front.
Well, they do
And
have
and then her
stop,
car don't go that good.
they do have stop signs where we don't, but
Well, we have stop signs too.
No, we
Yeah.
don't.
no,
No,
No, we don't have stop signs.
No stop sign near,
not there, no.
not near the,
No.
no. All the
Well,
stop
there's two
signs
stop signs that actually
This one,
regulate
this-
them one
isn't that
side.
crazy?
They're on both
It's
sides.
stop
Yeah.
signs.
If you pull up to the resident side,
Yeah.
there is a stop sign on the left island,
Yeah.
but that's for those
That's
people.
not for us.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not for us.
Wow.
In fact, I'm not even sure why we put the stop sign on the left side of the visitors, because all street signs have to be on the right side to be paid.
right. No, I understand that, but I always assumed that stop sign was for residents.
I used to argue we should put a little sign below that saying, yes, for the visitors.
Yeah.
Speed bump before the resident gate.
But I think
Way
what
above,
solutions
visitor
is fire
stop.
bumps, a little bit like expert rated on the way back down.
Okay, I've got a question about these though, the seal coating and the Atlantic Southern, are they similar configurations? Are they both humps and not bumps? I can't tell what Atlantic Southern
You
is.
mean asphalt or?
Well, I know they're both asphalt, but it's, but is.
Well, it looked like the one from, Atlantic Southern, in theirs, they have, speed bump / hump. So they can go either way. And the other one was just, the last one with the, seal coat was just a bump.
Seal coat is a bump.
Yeah, I think it says up at the top there.
No, it says hump,
Maybe it's just a hump.
speed
Under
hump.
striping, the second page.
Quote includes one asphalt speed hump with proper markings and 2 signs, whatever signs they're talking about.
Probably the
don't-
ones that are already there.
There.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to pay for no sign.
No,
No.
no. And there's no signs on Atlantic Southern.
So seal coating and Atlantic Southern are both humps. And I thought we agreed earlier that a bump would be more effective than a hump.
Well, I think Atlantic Southern says either one.
It says bump.
Yes, they say either one.
Bump / hump.
And we can specify to them.
I see that.
Give us a bump and give us an inch high.
Right.
Than normal.
Now on page 2 or 3,
I'm
it
sure
says
that
speed bump.
they probably have standards of how high they have to be.
To be effective, yeah.
Do
I
that,
don't know,
go
a
next.
couple inches.
You got a motion.
Okay, we've gone,
3.5
You have a
inches,
motion?
isn't that big?
huh?
You need to vote on the
Oh,
motion.
we had a motion, I'm sorry.
What's the motion again?
Any other, the motion
The
was
motion
to
for
go with Atlantic Southern,
And it'll be a bump, not a hump.
be a
Yeah.
bump, yes, be a bump. Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Can we make it higher than 3.5 inches?
I don't know, I'll talk to,
3.5 inches isn't that big.
I'm not sure.
Make it 6 inches.
They're gonna use 30 square yards of macadam, so, or
But it
asphalt.
says,
Round it up.
Pile it up.
And
pile
the
it up.
other advantage with going with the asphalt is that when it does break off like now, there's a steel rod sticking out of the ground that's gonna go through somebody's tire one of
Yeah.
these days.
And
So-
I also think it's better looking.
Oh, yeah, it looks much
That
better.
yellow thing we put in strictly because we had no money.
Because you can buy them online for like $3.50.
You know what they call those speed humps in Panama? Dead policemen.
Yeah, well, way some of them people direct. Get out there, yeah. And all those people out in the southern Caribbean.
Some say.
Why would we get that? I gotta get the budget stuff together here. Okay. Okay, moving down to budget discussion, and I don't know if, have you heard the date, the deadline for these for us?
So we, the end of the month, end of May,
End of May?
yeah. That's why we're trying to push this and get it going.
Yeah.
Now, you should have just had passed out to you
Yeah,
the latest version, which has the actual through March 31st. And that's important because that's at the halfway point.
Yeah.
For those of you that aren't familiar, we won a fiscal year that starts on October 1st. So that the March 31st is halfway, so it's not an exact double to the end of the year, but it gives you a point and an idea to look at where we stand halfway through the year. How far ahead or behind, whatever. I wish you had it ahead of time, you could have been looking at it. I just got.
okay.
Are we gonna fill this out today?
I think you can discuss, I think a quick review, not filling it out, but a quick review, make some notes, understand some of the issues, and we've talked about it, I mentioned at the last meeting when the new candidates, that because we're out of phase with some of our contracts, not that there's that many of them. But they run a fiscal year, we're running, the calendar year, we run a fiscal year. So October 1st, this is gonna start, this budget October 1st. Meanwhile, some of those contracts are gonna be changing in January 1st. How do we figure that out? What can we anticipate future costs are gonna be?
I'm not sure exactly what all that, the only one I see right now that isn't really a problem, it's security statewide. And I don't know, Mainscape's contract just says first year, second year, third year. And I took that third year as starting October and going from that aspect. I know Brian was trying to change everything. Yeah, I don't know if he got that far or
The
not.
problem is he was severed rather abruptly.
Yeah, yeah. So, and there's a few, a few concerns there. So, if we want to start at the top, engineering and attorney fees.
Yeah, and if you have questions. I'll do the
Yeah,
best I can.
yeah.
Can you give the new guys here just a brief overview of what our budget covers? I mean, is it all assets in Stoneybrook? Is
No.
it?
No, I'll give you the best answer I can. It's certain gateway-owned assets within our community. And what was turned over on the morning of turnover, besides the lakes, which does not come out of the 004, are roads, sidewalks, the circles or islands at the end inside the cul-de-sacs, gatehouse, and the entrance in front of the gatehouse, going out the gatehouse. And there is a complication in all this, and this is really HOA more than it's us. And this is something you're gonna need to deal with. There's a question of the sidewalk on the other side of Gateway Boulevard. We have 3 feet that Stoneybrook actually owns on that side of the road, but it's not a 004. I could explain that with a whole story about the history of
I think that just a second, right when you talked about that, something come up at the last board meeting that they are going to run a survey. And,
I'm glad to hear that.
and Laura's getting that because the macadam or the walkway and the concrete way and all that area is busted up and it's really dangerous. I took some pictures, I couldn't believe it. But they're gonna run a survey to see if the HOA have to pay or if Gateway has to pay.
Now, let's just say this, if in fact that is us, and it's owned by us, it's not 004, then that's HOA.
Yeah,
And I'm telling that for Chris's benefit.
yeah,
That's because what this pays for, and the distinction is what's owned gateway inside Stony Brook. This is something that's outside Stony Brook, that Stony Brook might own, but I don't believe it has. I saw plans from way back, and we do have a 3-foot strip over there, but as I recall, it did not include the sidewalk.
Do we have a spreadsheet or some asset identification which gives background information like date of install, the installer, how much it cost, useful life, the whole 9 yards?
That you're gonna find hard to believe, when these communities were built and WCI was running Gateway, they were the master developer, they didn't require as-bills. Now, someone coming from the northeast, that boggles my mind. We do not have as, and that's been an issue, just trying to find where the drainage and plumbing goes in the ground.
Mhm.
They really don't know.
Yep.
And in any case, we did have, there has been a lot of things discarded or removed from the offices at Stony Brook. I don't know what's left and where it is. There's been some turmoil.
What about the district? Don't they have records of what they own?
So, I wouldn't think so.
they've gotten better because I unfortunately my reputation here, I have the most public record requests of anybody in Gateway. And I got boxes of stuff and stuff on it. They've got a lot of records, but it's taken a long time to get it where it's all computerized. But it's still hit and miss sometimes on the stuff.
I have seen years ago the actual plan for Stony Brook and all the tracking. It's numerous tracks. It's kind of complicated. And as I recall on there, it does show the 3 feet, but it doesn't show it being where the sidewalk is. It's more where the trees used to be than where the sidewalk.
And that's what's tearing up that that macadam area right through there is where the trees were, because you can see the roots coming up through the macadam.
Okay, well, that's where the trees are taken down. now.
Yeah, the trees are gone, but the roots are still hanging in
Yeah,
there.
maybe so,
Yeah,
but that's-
yeah, but it's still,
that's their problem.
it's
So
a long
they're
way.
gonna try to see if they can dump the sidewalks on us, but I don't think that's gonna be successful. And what they're hanging their hat on is there was this overview or aerial photograph of the area, and then someone after the fact put a white line down. That supposedly was the line that divided the separation between Stoneybrook and Gateway, and I know it's not right. It's just not accurate.
Mhm.
It was an approximation, and so I'm glad to hear that, I didn't make that meeting, I'm glad to hear they're gonna get surveyors out here.
It just seems a little strange. And again, I'm from the Northeast as well, and my experience.
No as-built.
My experience in a water utility has lots of documentation on stuff like this. And you know, it certainly helps when you put together a replacement
They
plan
have
and
plans and
budgeting.
they have proposals, but it wasn't until it was Bill Knight that started with
Yeah.
Lennar requesting as-built. And that became a war. And that's a whole story,
Wow.
and we got in the middle of it unfortunately, but that's another story. I don't want to tie you up here with that. Sometimes you come down to Tuesday morning coffee, we'll talk about it.
Well, a question about, say, for example, the drainage for the lakes. How do we know when the last work has been done and how much did it
Oh, they've got
cost?
that.
We know that.
The gentleman that was here, Kenny Hall, he's in charge of that. And if you ask him a question, he'll tell you right away what it is.
Okay.
Like
One
they
of the
just,
best guys do.
yeah.
Is there
they
a way to
just-
put it all into a master plan for Stony Brook?
They do, and they
Yeah.
were working on that a few years ago.
Yeah.
Where's
And
it
they were
stand
actually
now?
out there, they had, company that actually goes in scuba gear and checks for
Yeah.
blockages and see what's in there. And
Yeah.
they were miping it, mapping it,
Yep.
checking construction. Some of the things were not built to code, there were broken pipes under there, and this is complex. You really have no idea how big Gateway really is. We go all the way over to 6 Mile Cypress, we bump up to that, you know where that is.
Yeah.
And Pelican's part of this process too, and the way the drainage leaves you. If you ever been to 6 Mile Cypress Preserve,
Yep.
go walking,
Sure.
we drain into that.
Wow.
That water in there, some of it's coming from us.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's another whole subject, but they're much better than they used to be, but it's not precise. And when it comes down to the Gateway Boulevard, they probably do need to get an update.
Yeah.
What's really there.
That's what Laura's getting that put together now, because the sidewalk is the pathway and the concrete part down by the townhomes. That's really bad too. So they're trying to
Well,
figure out
that's,
who's
that
gonna.
has
Well,
nothing
that's
to do
not
with
ours.
us over there. We stop across the street.
Yeah, but I'm saying that they're gonna have to look at that whole area down through there. So that's good. That could be, and then
So what do they do with the villages? They send them a bill? I
Yeah.
don't think so.
you know that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the operating budget here and I don't see a cost center for our lakes.
Oh,
We don't pay for
we don't pay for lights.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it doesn't appear in the 04.
No.
That's why I listed specific gateway-owned assets.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Essentially roads and sidewalks with a couple little.
If you,
I'm in a much clearer place now. Thank you.
if you go on, if you go online in the Gateway's website, on the homepage right there, up in the corner, it has adopted budget. And you can pull that up and that has everything from the 01 account all the way through everything that's budgeted and stuff. And you can see just where all the money goes and stuff.
Gotcha. Is there a
Yeah.
preventative maintenance program?
When you get the budget every month for all of Gateway, have Georgia distribute it to everybody.
Yeah,
It's more information than you want to know, because it's a
Yeah.
long, complicated.
No such thing as more
But you can
information.
go thumb through it in what pertains more to us, you know,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of information there.
I'm just thinking, there's a lot of cost centers within the district then
Oh.
that affect us.
It's more complicated than you might ever guess.
Yeah.
It really
It
is.
really
Those guys, it's a big job, it really is.
And how do you arbitrate disputes between the HOA and the district in terms of who's responsible for what?
Well, for us, it's not really that difficult in a way because everything that we're responsible for in Stoneybrook, other HOAs are responsible for within their communities. We are a kind of a bastard child, the way this goes, the way this is set up. Because, and it comes down to, 04, 02, or not 02, but 01, who's gonna pay for it? And Joe's found a lot of places, and I think as we go through, we find a lot of places where Gateway has kind of put their hands into our fund and pull it out. But the 04 fund is designated specifically and only for or for Stoneybrook. And that's to handle it. That's it. That's our,
These items.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
okay, that's pretty much our stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Warren,
It's,
at that last district meeting, did you get that fund
yeah, I have
actual
that, yeah.
budget?
Yeah.
Well, they're saying as of March 31st, we have 472,000 in the fund balance. And then if you go over to the right, it gives you a prior year. We had 393,000. They're saying we're plus 79,000 more than last year, which could be good unless you paid a lot more bills in the first 6 months.
What sometimes happens is it's when bills are actually paid.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And just to give you a little clue, what does happen during the course of the year, very often when there's a budget for a specific item, they divide it up into 12 pieces and then they charge the accountants.
Yeah.
1/12 through the season. But some of those things may come in a big surge in summer, beginning of the fall or the winter.
Yeah.
Landscaping tends to come in a big pack. Certain types of repairs tend to be more seasonal. And so you're gonna see wild swings like that. But that sounds like there's more going on to meets the eye. Something to look into.
And who audits the 04 fund?
I'm sorry?
Who audits the 04 fund?
Gateway. Yeah.
We are, or not we, you guys are a gateway committee.
Yeah.
You actually do answer to Gateway. Okay, you happen to be Stoneybrook residents. Chris is the only board member right now, but you should communicate with the community Stoneybrook to let them know what's going on out here. But you really answer to those guys.
Yeah. And that makes that, sometimes that makes it tough because they have some other things they want to do. And then we have to go back and, and fortunately, knock on wood, I think we've got a little better rapport now with some of them that we have had in the past.
Yeah.
And no one goes, we caught them with their hand in the cookie jar when they didn't mulch last year. They took all these trees out along Gateway Boulevard.
Right.
Well, they did that and they took all the mulch money and did that. Well, they took it out of the 04 fund.
And all of a sudden, we were $50,000 over budget.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden,
Wow.
but then we got our mulch because we pushed it and they had to go out and find Mainscapes put mulch down. They didn't put a whole bunch down, but they put some mulch down because they'd already spent the money for the mulch. So that's what, like, one of the things we have when we talk budget.
And
how much
money was
it?
credited back.
Yeah.
That's why you also want to take a look at actual.
Yeah.
Sometimes something's out of whack.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Probably out of whack, you can check.
Mhm.
And anything that I would send out, I will send it to everybody and will come from Georgia. Under the sunshine law, everything is that way. Everything has to go through Georgia to come out so everybody gets the same information.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of things have to be done a certain way. And that's because we're part of Gateway Services and they're a governmental agency.
Yeah.
The HOA, they just go hither and yon, they just go here, there, all over. Because their rules are a lot less than what ours are.
Yeah. They have restrictions on having a quorum, if four of them get together and talk about that, they shouldn't do that. But here, you're supposed to.
You can't talk to each other. It's tough. That's, and at our next regular meeting in June, I'm gonna try to have the district's attorney come in, or he might do it over Zoom and give his annual class on sunshine law. And he'll go over all that stuff with us and stuff. It gets to be a problem that sometimes you can solve problems by a couple people just talking about it.
Yeah.
But in this environment, we can't do that.
How do we police the things not in the 04 budget that need to be done within Stoneybrook? For example, checking checking the drainage pipes in the ponds and some of the unseen things.
We have done that. And this is
We're up-
an issue.
Margaret said last meeting, I think we're up this year.
Yeah.
Every
Well,
5 years,
Yeah.
they've divided Gateway.
Well, maybe
to-
not
it's
as
about
long
this-
by,
yeah.
but I
We had
will
it done
say
just
this.
after the hurricane.
This is an HOA issue for a different reason, because I understand there are some people out right there right now cutting their own lawns and blowing it out into the street.
Yeah.
And that's a serious violation.
Yeah.
That's a violation of leaving the county, drainage, gateway, a whole bunch of things wrong with that.
Yeah.
Clog up the
We gave
pipe.
one of those violations out just the past couple days.
And that's a no-no, that's a big no-no.
Got it.
If you're blowing your old grass, blow back up off the grass, not out in the street.
Right.
Yeah, that was,
All the lakes are connected. All the lakes seek the same level eventually get on time. And if they're clogged,
That was one of the discussions again at the last board meeting, was that heavy rain we had washed all the leaves and everything down into the drains. And they weren't so concerned about them getting into the water other than clogging up the drains, because there's just so many, like down at our end of Pebblebrook. I mean, our leaves were high because we have those ugly trees right there that all the leaves fall down and stains things. And they just went all down the tubes. I mean, and so.
Those lakes went up really fast.
around this time of year, we're dropping the leaves and
Right.
they blow off. There's a few other trees also. That just happened to be bad time.
I'm just wondering how to minimize surprises, you know?
That is something that Gateway does stay on top of. They're pretty good about it.
Good.
And if
Especially since
you
Vermont.
spot something,
Huh?
you know, feel like, see something, say something.
Okay, let's move on to
Sorry.
the budget stuff here.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem, no, gotta learn. Okay, starting right at the top of the sheet you have there, the attorney fees and engineering fees, that's been the same for a few budget times, and we've not really had a problem with that, so
I would leave it.
I would just leave it the way it is. Landscaping, now we have 100 and, there's a budget 140,000. Now, the contract with them has the third year going to $122,000.
What about you skipped one?
I'm sorry?
You skipped one.
Oh, what did I skip? I'm sorry.
Utility fees.
Utility fees.
Utility fees. Oh, I'm sorry.
What is that, electric for the irrigation systems?
That would be the, I'm not sure, does that include the streetlights?
I'm sorry.
No,
Like the utility fees?
No,
No,
utility, streetlights are entirely separate.
yeah, that's a street lighting services.
I'm looking at that big drop in discrepancy here and trying to understand that myself, but remember we had the issue of how we were paying for possibly some of the pumps.
Pumps and stuff, yeah.
I'm not sure if that was winding up in here too or not.
Okay. Let me
That's a
put it.
good question. I think you guys should be asking.
Yeah, I'll get with Laura on that. Now, see, I don't know who made this up. They went fiscal year 2023 to 45,000. And looking at what we've used, we had 45,000 last year. And so far this year up through March, we've only used 11,300.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
And if you
so,
look at the next line item, landscape contractual services.
yeah,
We're one under there too. That doesn't. make
Yeah,
any
well,
Yeah,
hang
well-
on, the 33 is simply 45 minus 11, so, I mean, that's all they did
I
on the
know that,
spreadsheet.
but that's 33 in the second half of the year.
That's all they did on the spreadsheet.
I agree,
Yeah.
but that's all.
There was no thought given to that column at all.
the, okay, so I'm gonna check into that utility stuff with Laura. Landscape contractual services, as I said, the contract we currently have in the third year of it, we go to 122,000. But what that don't include is the mulch and tree trimming. We took all them out the last time. So if we have 122 for the third year, it would be adding probably about 65, $13,000 extra there for mulch and tree trimming. And this year would, if we trim trees, would be the hardwood trees. We already did the oaks. The oaks don't have to be done, not the oaks, but the sables. We don't have to do them now for another year or two. But the oak trees, hardwood trees need to get trimmed up, and maybe not too much because it's mostly the umbrellas and maybe some trim inside. So I think keeping it at 140 would be a good place to be because it would pay both of them, so.
And we don't trim all the trees every year.
No,
We go from the
no.
palms and then over to the.
Yeah, we don't have to do them because there's a time frame where you don't really have to do the oaks and stuff. And
I do want to point out something that does jump out at me. Some of these actuals seem out of whack.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
And the miscellaneous maintenance, why is that way up? I suspect there's a coding problem here. The things are winding up in the wrong line. That's probably gonna happen.
Yeah, because landscape repair is only $125.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
yeah,
And meanwhile, miscellaneous maintenance is 18.7. I believe, and this is speculation on my part, that probably some things from landscape repairs wound up down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If not more than that, because we had some big repairs on the
irrigation, yeah.
yeah, we did. So it makes it kind, it makes it tough on us because we don't have the actual stuff where we can jump right in and take a look at where it's going.
It is buried in the documents that you get on that monthly basis.
Okay,
but
yeah.
It's more like you gotta really look at that equal
Yeah.
side to see it.
Basically, they're keeping the landscape services at the same cost as it was last year. And at this point, I don't have a real big problem with that until we get some clarification on some of these captions. It'd be nice if we could get a sheet that shows what each caption entails, but it's kind of hard to get some stuff from them folks. Street lighting services.
Hang on a second.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do we have a deliverable due at the end of the month? This is the only meeting we're gonna have this month.
No,
We'll set
we're
another
gonna have
meeting.
a meeting this month.
Yeah.
That we did last year. To be able to get it
Yeah.
done by the end of the month, we're
Yeah.
probably gonna need another meeting.
After the meeting, I'm gonna go
Because what you just
Talk with
can't look
Laura.
at this one day. You
Yeah.
gotta do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
on the other things. There's some-
That's right.
Right now, you're generating questions to ask for and try
Yeah.
to get some clarification.
Yeah, it'd be nice, if we set up another meeting this month, to have Laura come in and help us, guide us in some of those
Hopefully
things.
between now and that next meeting, you
Yeah.
already have some answers.
Yeah. Street lighting services. Now, is that what we're paying FPL?
Yes,
Okay,
we pay through them, okay, out of the 004.
yeah,
But yeah, the contract's with Gateway, and it's so much per light
Okay.
fixture. You know, I don't know, this has happened before, I don't know why action would be 18,000. Why it's more than half 35 or 34, 852, I don't get that.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it's a fixed amount, it's contractual, we don't pay for the electricity per se. What we're paying for, we're literally renting the light fixtures that are on the street. And they provide the electricity for them, they maintain those poles and the light fixtures.
Do they repaint those poles?
They certainly need it, don't they?
Yeah, the light poles.
I've got,
Oh, there's a
I've got,
bunch of them that really.
I talked with the Matt Strong, lives over on Ivory Stone. He works for the sign company here, Lennox or something like that. And we talked about the sign poles, the street, the painting them and whatever. And he was going to be going out and check. We have 64 light sign poles around.
The green ones.
The green stuff. And he said they have a program where they will come out and take it down, put something else there temporarily, take it back into the shop,
Fix it up.
refurbish it, repaint it, and only thing they charge us for is the parts they use. So he's gonna give me a list of what it would be, what the approximate cost would be to get because some of them signposts just were really ugly.
They're banged up pretty bad and need to be painted, but part of the problem is that we used to have a problem with Mainscape with their
Yeah.
lawnmowers hitting them. So if you watch them sometimes, they're going 40 miles an hour down the grass. And they hit the impulse.
And
they
we-
break. That's how those things usually break. And, you know,
Well, we did
we
that.
used to try to get that and pick up some of the tabs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but if we could watch it, now we watch our landscapers. And we put the stone around
Yeah.
all the mailboxes.
Well, I got stone
And
in my driveway again.
I've already talked to him about that. And right after we did that, and we put some new mailboxes up, in like 2 weeks, they knocked down 3 mailboxes. Just, and they paid for them all. They didn't have any real problem doing that. But it's just, some of them young kids, that's what they have driving those things. They go.
Did we leave street lighting?
But the,
Yeah.
but the light
Yeah.
But the light poles.
poles, the black light poles look
Yeah.
awful.
They
Well,
do.
that'd be something we'd have to talk with, see what FPL.
Yeah,
Okay.
Eric Culling used to be the person, the contact person at FPL, but they're so damn busy these days, you
Yeah.
don't even get a call back.
Yeah.
Don't left messages with them.
Any other questions on street?
Let's focus on the lines.
On the what?
Finish it up before we go to the next one. for Pete's
Okay.
sake.
Well, I thought
I
we
think-
were on the lake.
Well, we started talking about the damn street signs,
Yeah.
street poles.
I'd just soon leave the street lighting services cost at where it is right now until we get more understanding.
Yeah, I agree.
Roadway services.
I just want to add, the street lighting should be a fixed amount. And that contractually should be the same
Every year?
Every year.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because isn't it true we pay X amount per light, regardless of how much
Yeah, I
electricity
don't
you
remember what
use?
it is off the top of my head.
Okay.
How many lights?
Okay, roadway services, road and sidewalk repair. Not sure what we have planned. I think it's good to keep the funds in there just in case, because you never know when something might pop up that we may have to pay
Well,
for.
if we've only spent $10,000 in the first 6 months, are we gonna spend more than that the
Oh.
second 6 months?
Well, that's what I'm more concerned about.
Yeah.
I don't know if that number's real. I
Oh,
really-
okay.
you
Yeah.
know, That's the thing we need to verify.
I would have thought they would have put that, sealer that we put on Pebblebrook on that count.
Yeah.
One would think.
I think it should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
regulation.
Yeah.
So we're doing.
And,
Where did they put it?
The signs and stuff, I think with what we need to do,
It's gonna be more than that.
yeah, we need to go higher than 5,000 on that. And I would go either 10 or 15, because I don't know what the cost is going to be to get all the signs, get all them things done up.
You didn't
'Cause-
give any kind of a ballpark figure?
No, not yet. I should have something maybe by the time of our next meeting.
All right, well, make a notation for yourself, I would think.
Yeah.
That's got to be revisited.
Yeah.
Then put the numbers that, get to them. And that also build a little buffer.
Yeah.
And also, we did that a year or so ago, so there is an invoice that we approved. We're doing about 3 to 5 of those signs.
Yeah, well, there are some signs that don't have a problem. But there are some that the poles need to be painted and the signs need to be replaced because they've just been faded out. There's not a bunch of them, but there are some signs. So that's something I'm gonna have to wait till I can get with Matt and see what the rough cost is gonna be on that. Public safety. Gatehouse utilities, I don't see much change in that.
Yeah, we knocked that way down.
The security contractual services, in looking at their contract, they go up $1 per hour for everything, and everything goes up.
At the beginning of the year.
Well, actually, it's supposed to be September 1st, according to their contract.
September.
Yeah, that's the contract.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we started them actually on like the
We were-
25th.
We wanted the other guys out so bad,
Yeah.
So in figuring out what their payment goes as far as $1 an hour and then a time and a half for holidays, et cetera, that 195 needs to come up to about 222,000. With all their supervisor pay and all the stuff, and I've got a spreadsheet here on them.
Didn't we have I'll have to look through my stuff at home. When they submitted the bid, the proposal, they had a page with a year 1, year 2, year 3.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And I don't remember it being that high.
Let me say this,
But we
this
can-
is always-
I can look into that.
I just want to make you all aware of, this is kind of a tough situation because obviously Joe Tar's busy. community, not that that's necessarily an issue. But in the past, the HOA has been the one who's negotiated with them, but we paid the bill over here out of this budget. So that's another reason why it's nice to have a couple of board members on these groups, so when they're sitting down, talking with, negotiating that's a contract, they're involved. But there could be some discrepancy on these numbers.
Okay. According to that sheet you mentioned, I found it in their contract. Year 2023, total gatehouse for, and this is just regular, is 135,000. Supervisor officers for 20,000 or 2,080 hours is 49.7. Walking rover, and that would come from
So that
your
comes,
budget.
yeah, that comes out.
So the whole, and auto rate, that would come from your budget, I would think. For that whole, for the whole year is 260,960. So you take the 65 from here. So we're still down to about 200,000.
I think that's a more
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
200,000?
yeah, 200 or yeah, because there's no other increase here. So I can go with
Yeah,
200.
my memory is their version,
Yeah.
their shares.
So you only raise it by $5,000 then?
Yeah, that would be good. Now, the one thing I noticed, and when I pulled out one of their invoices, it was the last one in March. Items purchased for clients' toner and items purchased for clients' passes. Why are we paying that? Why wouldn't that come from the HOA?
Because they didn't give us the bill?
Huh?
Because they didn't give us the bill?
Well, that, okay, if that's the reason, then that's, that's something we can handle. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's only like,
Yeah, I'll let
less than $500, but you know, in trying to keep it, and little costs like that is what comes in and bites you on the butt on budgets and stuff. And I just pulled this one out because I wanted to see what we were paying monthly, and this was March 31st invoice, so.
Tom had a question there about like going to 200 to 5,000 increase. But I think the reason for that, Tom, is I think that 195, we knew was probably going to be high.
Yeah.
When we came up with that number last year, we weren't sure
Yeah.
what it was going to
Yeah.
be.
That's
and
right.
we gave
Yeah.
ourselves some
Yeah.
cushion.
I think if you,
So we're not gonna spend 195 this year then?
Possibly not. But this is one of those subjects around, we tend to get a bigger bill around, let's say, once again, that's next year's budget. I'm thinking around Halloween, Christmas time.
It's gonna say the holidays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the fact is, that's next year's budget.
but that,
But those
but that
costs we
kind of
pay-
stuff is on the HOA, not
Yeah,
us.
we'll pay those because we're asking for extra people for events.
Yeah.
For events is one thing, but we usually really, for Christmas and especially for Halloween, we load up at that front gate. We usually have more employees down there covering the control.
Yeah, but you know what, but my feeling is the 004 pays for the 24/7 normal stuff.
Yeah.
Anything out of the norm, even if it's at the gate, should come out of the HOA because they're the ones that are saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, I do.
And I
do.
would agree, but I'm
And-
just telling you how some
and
of
if-
these things work out.
Again, going down to the thing they submitted in their contract and breaking down the numbers, the top two numbers is what we'd be paying, 135 and 49. And the total, as I said, was 260. So you subtract the 65,000 from that's being paid for by the HOA, that brings us down to 200,000 roughly. And I would like to stay at 200 or
Yeah.
205.
Yeah, that's probably a good number.
I'm sorry, I was thinking, I didn't listen to the last thing you said, but gatehouse repairs and maintenance, did you discuss that?
Yeah,
No.
well, we haven't
No.
got there. No, we're still talking about manpower. So do we want to keep it at 195 or do
No,
we want to go
keep
to
it at
200?
200.
200?
200.
200?
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now,
Because if the actuals are correct, we're not gonna hit 195.
there's a
Yeah.
possibility because of how much he has to pay people these days,
Mhm.
he may be coming to us.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
right.
Well, he better. Anyway.
Sharper than Spencer.
Gatehouse repairs and maintenance. Of course, we're taking some money out of there now. We're going to have roughly $575 for that one contract.
If we had the sliders.
If the sliders are gonna be, 5 to 6,000, so that's out of this current budget. Now
Well,
Again,
you
I
don't
went
need to
down-
You communicate with Warren, she'll tell you that we
Yeah.
have some surplus
Yeah.
money to move over to that line.
And I think I'm concerned about the gatehouse. I've been in there a couple times and talked to a bunch of the guys and I walk around it and it's filthy. And I don't know who's supposed to clean it. Last week I was in there and I got pictures. Mark Scar's tattoos all over the place where they bumped in and done this. There's a outlet in the wall, don't have a cap on it. Wires are, it has the plug, but don't have the wires. Now, the picture that I showed earlier, that was there, the inside. And I don't know if our maintenance person does that, or if we have a cleaning company that goes out and do that, or that's up to them to do that.
No, and they put it in their reports that they clean up. However, they wipe down, they
Yeah.
do that kind of basic stuff. They put out their own garbage.
Yeah.
That other kind of stuff, I have no problem at all having our maintenance person do it.
Yeah.
And I'll add that onto my list. When the new cam starts, who's supposed to be our superstar. He
Yeah.
starts on the 30th. And I'm gonna have him go out and do a visual and then make a list for Pedro, the maintenance guy, to get that stuff.
Okay.
Because even if he's gotta paint the place, Pedro can paint it.
No, it needs a
We don't have-
paint.
Yeah, we don't
but-
have to hire somebody.
and-
We just had the outside done.
Yeah, and one reason I brought it up is because I've been in there a couple different times and it hasn't really changed. It's gotten better, but it's not really good working conditions. But I was concerned if we had to put some more money into that account to make sure it got cleaned. And if your people are gonna do it, that's fine.
No, yeah, we'll get them
Okay.
to do, because
Yeah.
I like to separate the gatehouse between like structure and operations. 004 pays for structure, HOA pays for operations.
No,
Anything
That's
operation
fine, yeah,
related.
okay.
Let me say this, though, that I do agree with one thing, we probably gotta kick up that gatehouse repairs and maintenance stuff. Because I think it's getting to the point
Yeah.
that it's an older building and it's gonna
No,
be.
yeah, no
things
question,
that
yeah.
need
And-
repairs.
Did they move the generator, from the gatehouse back to the warehouse, to the storage shed? Or is that still in the way?
No, it's in the back of the gatehouse, because that's where it's supposed to get.
Has
to.
anybody taught them how to use it?
I can't answer that question. I
Okay,
think Brittany
I
knows
just-
how, because JT is the one that,
Yeah,
does it.
yeah,
But
okay. Okay.
Well, we had 20,000
Right.
budgeted, 20,500. You think that's gonna be enough?
I gotta tell you something, I'm looking at the actuals, we're 16.4.
But we bought the air conditioner this
Yeah.
year too.
Was that in this budget, though, or was that the previous year's? budget?
February of 2021.
That's previous.
Oh,
year.
really?
Yeah, previous year, yeah.
And
But now, a lot of
Yeah.
that 16,000 is gonna be a lot of them wacky, gate repair bills from new IQ and all that
Oh.
kind of stuff. And knock wood, at least, it's getting better.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause they-
Getting a lot better.
We should never let that run that long. But I will tell you, I don't have a problem kicking it up to 30. I think that may not be a bad idea to do it.
Did this include the roof cleaning? And the,
If they allocated it to that,
Yeah, if it's coded to that.
if it's coded
they will
correctly
Yeah.
know
in there, then
okay,
it does.
okay.
So in
But that
21,
wasn't that
we spent
much.
10.5 and 23, we're going to spend 30,000.
Looks
It'll
like
run up
in
10,000
22,
every
we're
year.
gonna be we're gonna be at least probably 25 to 30 in that range right there. Because one's got 4,000.
That's a hell of an increase.
Yeah.
I know, well, things are breaking, that's the point.
It's all older
Yeah,
now.
but yeah,
Yeah, that-
about how many
that's-
things are doing to your house.
3 times?
What's that?
3 times? It was
Yeah.
10,500 in 21. And we're gonna, and for
10,000
23,
next year.
and for 23, we're gonna go to 30,000.
I'm telling you.
Something doesn't make sense.
I'd be more inclined to go with 25 at the
All right,
most.
fine.
For
If you
the,
have to move money over from a surplus area.
Yeah,
that's fine.
we can-
You can do it.
and that's what Trevor, I asked you about the door. Those guys are in there 24/7. If something breaks, I like to think they would say, hey, I broke this, and let statewide security take care of the cost. Because, it's their problem. But again, no one's gonna owe up to it, then we're gonna end up, and I have a hard time paying for someone else's mistake.
All right,
I
with you
don't
100%.
think anybody broke that slider. I think the thing is.
Well, it could have been, yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to say, yeah.
And remember, that's like a one-time expense for this year.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna be
Won't
in
even be in the
the
budget,
next year.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't have anything else. There's not much else. There's some other stuff that we have to work on, but that's gonna have to come from Laura as far as we pay percentages on some of the staff.
Yes.
We pay, I think, I'm not sure what we're gonna be end up paying the new district manager or the assistant, but we paid Jim, I think, 5%.
Something,
I think it's nothing over 5%, but there's several people.
I know I argued it. I know I keep that with
Yeah.
big deal about it, but the fact is, I'd have to go back and look at the document. I don't remember it from what it was. But I will say this, keep in mind, we do pay the same that everybody else pays.
Yeah.
And that's supposedly paid.
Warren,
But that,
there's like 3 times you talked about moving money out of the surplus account. How much is in the surplus account? I have no idea.
now, I couldn't tell you right now.
You need to go to the balance sheet. You'll
Yeah.
see things there.
Yeah.
And I may actually have one here.
That's one thing we need to stay in tune. I know Laura has access to some different readouts that we need to get because it gives us more specific what we're doing.
Is it in there?
No, it's revenues. This is the balance sheet. And take a look at it, you can pass it on. Each of you should be getting a copy of that too, because it does make a difference to know what's there. And understand, what looks like there's a lot of money there, it's just not allocated. It hasn't been spent yet, so to speak. And it
Yeah.
will be happening. A little strange, but
Okay.
we'll do a little bit of bookkeeping.
I'm gonna get
I'm still not sure. How
a
much is
meeting with
in the
Laura.
surplus?
Maybe I can set some up. Maybe you can
Maybe
you can tell me the time.
I'm gone the rest
So I
of
have that
Oh,
balance
okay.
sheet.
Okay.
between now and first.
Is there a line
of
item
June,
on there
I'm
that says
down.
surplus?
I'll explain
Okay.
it. It's not that
Okay.
quick.
You're gonna be available for another week or so for this. If we have to set up another.
You can see there. I'm only
Like
here
the line
from
coming
16,
out,
17.
We might.
Chairman, at this time, I have to excuse myself from this meeting so I can preside over another meeting where I'm gonna recover some grant, but
Answers and maybe.
we're pretty much done, right?
Yeah, no, we need to set up another meeting time
Yeah.
for this month so we can get it done. Because the 18th or the 25th is a Wednesday. And it'll be a special meeting specifically and only for the budget. So we're not gonna be, unless some emergency comes up and we'll throw that on the agenda, but it's not on the agenda, we're not gonna talk about it, so it's just gonna be a special budget meeting.
18 works better for me, because I'm working on the 25th.
That's 1 week.
That's 1 week from today.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, can we do it Tuesday?
18th?
Can we do it Tuesday the 24th,
Well, the only issue with that will be.
if the room is available?
Yeah. Oh,
18th?
I will not be available.
I'll,
Yeah, next week, 19, 25, and 26, I'm not available.
the 18th or the 18th is
They're
best.
trying to determine.
18th,
what's a
check
good
the
date for
18th and
next
see
meeting.
at 2:00 here.
Can you be ready in 1 week?
Huh?
Can you be ready in 1 week?
Oh, we have to be.
You got a lot of questions to get answered.
Yeah,
Unless,
I'm gonna try to get Laura.
if you need another week, I could do
Take
Tuesday the
one, pass it down.
24th,
24th?
24th.
if the room is available.
Well, I'm not, well, I'm only available 16, 17, and 18.
18th?
Okay, so then we're doing it,
Only available.
So then we're doing it
3
18th.
days.
18th?
then
18
we
is
gotta do
open.
18 if it's available.
Looks like it's
That only gives you
available.
1 week to get your stuff
Yeah.
together, though.
Just a tidbit of information, if you have
Let me
questions,
double check.
get it into Georgia, you should have her email.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to ask, like Warren or somebody, you gotta go through her to get you, okay?
Right.
And, eventually you'll get to know Laura, but even
Yeah.
questions for Laura should be coming from Laura.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm available any of those days. I'm not going anywhere. The 24th is a Tuesday. Is that,
Can no do.
I'm
Okay,
not
that's the
ready.
week before Memorial Day. That's a tough time. Let's shoot for the 18th. And I'll try to get as much stuff in as I can and get information out to you as I can. I'll try to set some stuff up with Laura to get some questions answered. I got a bunch of questions here now. And then we can get together and hopefully, I think the 18th might be a better day for her too, because, the new district manager starts the 16th. Maybe get both of them in here.
Pull that off, not a bad idea, just to meet her.
Yeah, we need to get with her too.
Get her name and
Yeah,
everything.
Chelsea. Okay.
Real quick,
18th,
okay,
good. 18th at 2 o'clock. 18th at 2 o'clock is fine for me. Okay.
She thinks it's open, she just ran inside. or
Okay.
something.
Put this down myself. Let me go take care of some other business.
Warren, you're gonna give the update at the board meeting on Monday? Change from his name to your name?
I really think in keeping with the sunshine law,
Well, if you do it and any of the rest of us are in attendance, we just all have to shut up.
yeah, I don't have a problem if you want to do it. I could do it maybe for the first one, just because,
Because
hey,
if I
here
do
I
it and
am.
I miss something, you can't come in and help.
That's true.
And I have a better feeling that you won't miss something.
and I'll be honest with you, if I'm at the board meeting.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah,
No problem,
I
Fred.
don't want to make the report, but.
Oh, no, we don't want
you
you to, Joe.
I know, it's not what I want. But the fact is that there's something you push the issue. No problem.
Okay,
All right, I'll see everybody next week.
okay, and I'll,
When you get a chance, take a look when you.
Yeah, I got
We
it.
got a balance sheet in front of you. You look at it real quick. This is the balance sheet. It's very simplistic. This is not rocket science. But there is across the top, the various, the general fund, health reserve, which is the 002, general fund's the 001. We are the Stoneybrook fund. That's the 004, and I circled around it so you can focus right in on that. It's a vertical column, and that's the column you're looking at. There is printing on the other side. They're all about it too.
In May 18th.
yeah, and one of the things,
Good.
when we have these projects and we get like the stuff here, when we give it to Laura, we have to say, we have to tell her, A, the committee approved it, and B, where the money's coming from. And a lot of times, a couple of times we've had to say, okay, it's gonna come from this account and this account into this account. And she has no problem with that. And once she has all the paperwork and stuff together, then she'll make out a purchase order, send us a copy and send the vendor a copy too. And then once they get the copy, then they'll set a date. And as soon as we get the date, like for the sidewalks, we'll let everybody know. So you people, everybody will know what's going on that.
Real quick, flip the page over, look down vertically from the Stoneybrook. In the Stoneybrook column, you're gonna see there's 114,000 there. It says committed to capital project reserves. And this is like something we tap into when we want to do something, to capital expenditure that is appropriate. We've tapped into this along the way. If you looked at the fiscal 2023 operating budget, on the bottom, other fees and charges. Every year, we tend to put $10,000. I'm going to the other sheet right now, okay? Every year, we put 10,000 aside. We pull it out, throw it into there, and we budget for that. And that's where that money runs into that line item, capital projects reserves. It's an odd number, but we have to tap into it. But every year, we put 10,000. And I would suggest this year in the budget, you put that 10,000 too. If going back to the balance sheet, going down through there, you'll see 357,000 in that vertical column.
Yep.
If you look to the left, it says unassigned. But that's not surplus. It's just money that hasn't been assigned to you, okay? I guarantee there is surplus in there. And when you get down to the end of the year, then it's clear to pick up on that, how much is actually left over. You'll get a number there.
Okay.
So if you had an absolute question for you, you could probably ask her, and she could dig it up for you if you needed it. But I hope that explains. It's pretty simple. This isn't a complicated financial document, okay?
Okay. Okay. We've accomplished, I really think we've accomplished a lot today.
I thought the meeting went very well,
Yeah.
guys. I think you all did a good job, and I'm encouraged. I really am.
So we'll take a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
No, we don't have, we don't have anything on here for people to talk.
No, it's committee request or audience comments.
Yes, number
Yes.
12. Line item.
Number 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, I bet everybody's got a lot to say. Okay. Gary, do you have anything you want to bring up?
Not really.
Okay, yeah.
It's good. It was a good meeting.
David?
I'm assuming that there are blanket RFPs that the district has that we can tap into during times of emergency.
Interesting question. I can't say.
I'm
that I
sorry.
remember. Yeah,
What's the question? I'm sorry.
Blanket RFPs that the district may have that we can tap into during times of emergency.
Yeah, they do have some that we can, but most of the time our stuff is relatively small.
yeah.
But we can get RFPs from
I'm
them.
thinking storms, I'm thinking
Yeah.
issues where we have immediate
A
need.
lot of what we do, though, I don't think it really is emergency affected that much.
Hmm.
I think HOA would
Yeah.
handle the community in general, and things like drainage and lakes and things like that is really the CDD.
Right.
If you look at the limited things that we're responsible for and oversee, I just don't know how
Okay.
much of that would be.
Storm
I will
related.
say this, when, in the last flood, after Irma, I did go out in the street, pick up a couple of light poles and get them off the middle of the street.
Yeah,
off the sidewalk.
Just
But,
thinking
yeah.
of palm fronds in a big storm
Yeah.
where they all come
All the
down.
stuff like that would come from Gateway Services.
It would, even though we have landscaping services
Yeah,
and
no,
things
Yeah,
that
but we don't have any I don't think we have a contract with Mainscapes that come in. Now, we do with the state landscaping that we
I'm
have.
not being difficult. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
no,
ask
no,
questions.
yeah,
It's an interesting thought. I
Yeah.
will say this, it took a while, but ultimately FEMA did the ultimate cleanup.
Right.
Yeah, right. And that's what,
But, hello FEMA?
yeah, well,
We
we
have a lot
looked
of
at, we
trees
had,
down.
we were all set to pay a state because we have our contract with the state landscaping is they will come in and clear our roadway if there's any trees that block the road real quick.
Gotcha.
After that, it goes beyond that.
And it goes to
And
FEMA for
we were
reimbursement.
stacking stuff in one area, and we're all set to pay a state a big price. And all of a sudden, here comes a FEMA truck, and they took 3 big loads out at no cost.
Sweet.
So, it's just where it is. But we don't, most of that stuff would come under Gateway Services.
Okay.
And they're good at that.
Shut up. I do have one question.
Yeah.
Like, every month, instead of just throwing numbers in here, do they give you a list of what bills were paid and what accounts they get
We're
charged
going to
to?
work at making sure we get that. Because I think we need to be taking a hard look at that.
I think
And
it
I
needs
will
to-
tell you, in the
If we had that, we wouldn't be asking.
Journal
I know we have
entries,
today.
there is a list,
That answers your
but
question.
it's part of the greater gateway thing, but they do have designated pages for us, but you gotta go digging for it. It's in that big.
It is available online on,
I don't think it's online.
And we distribute it to you.
Yeah.
I know as a chairman, I used to get it, and I requested it. I used to send it to the treasurer at Stoneybrook, and she would get it from a woman named Sonia at Infomart.
Yeah.
When he gets it, and he should be getting it in the future, you gotta let them know.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
And usually I would ask Georgia to distribute that email to you.
I will, you will see, I will send a lot of stuff out. You can decide if you want to keep it or
Sure.
not. All the stuff, you could get they could get a public records request on our communication, so you might want to keep track of some of that stuff. I've got my email, I have advisory committee, and every email that I have gotten is right in there, just in case, always just in case. If you've not worked with public records request, it's a pain in the, you know what. But again, I call for a lot, and if you need information, don't hesitate to go into their website, the customer care. Actually, I do that. On their website, they'll have contact us, they have public records request, and it'll give you, fill it out and tell them and Georgia, if it's in the computer, she has it to you within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I mean, if she has to look for it, it's a little bit different. And she pulled me out minutes from 2008 to 2015 from the Board of Supervisors. And I had that like within an hour, you know, because that, yeah, but it's all our current stuff, the stuff that they were working on, so.
I do want to plant a seed, something to think about. I was asked one time, do you have, does Gateway have email addresses for you? And I said, no, I've always used my own. You might want to just look into that, so that there's a, and you probably don't want to use your email address that you use for a lot of other stuff. If you have more than one address, try to use one for things pertaining to this, because you can get a request for information.
Yeah.
And it can happen to you, come to you.
Okay, your motion for adjournment?
Audience, audience,
Audience.
can I make a comment? I'll make it quick. First of all, welcome to the new committee members. Very excited. Just wanted to add that possibly in the future for the committee to request or require all the vendors to list their warranty information, because it's brought up every time we do a proposal.
Yeah, it should be in the RFP.
Tell them from
Yeah.
day one, we need all that warranty information. And then I was gonna bring up the HOA meeting, and I'm not sure if it involves you guys also, is I saw some other communities, when you pull through the gate, that they have an extra sign that basically tells you as the visitor to slow down the lift and go through. I have to go take a picture of that, something I'm working on. And the other thing is requesting to do an e-blast reminder about, which no one's been told for a long time, about blowing their stuff in the drains. Margaret did tell me that Gateway Services has these storm drains on their agendas to
Yes.
do that. So,
And questions like, you know, Kenny can come in and he can give you a breakdown, boom, boom, boom. You know, they've just redone all of the lift stations. And that was a big job. I mean, they spent a lot of money doing that.
That was a big
And-
project. And that wasn't on us, that was on the.
Because they do that for everybody.
I forget which budget that is, that's the budget for utilities.
I think it was about the security contract and the different levels for the 3 years, so the new committee members need to be able to get that forwarded to them. Because they've never seen that security contract before, I presume. It was just a suggestion. And I personally think that when you get the budget, the chairman, vice chairman get that, I think that the monthly financials, every committee member should get a forwarded email, and if they want to spend the time to go through it, they can, instead of them having to work and go get it. I think it should be automatically sent to them. Just a suggestion.
Only thing I get, you're gonna get. It'll come from Georgia, so don't erase anything from Georgia.
Nothing does.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's
Motion to adjourn.
from what?
Make a motion to adjourn.
second?
Second.
You can't second it.
I didn't know he did. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Georgia.
This is, I know, whenever years, this is your donating and volunteering your time.